what are the keys from our perspective to successful technology transfer? In the traditional world, technology transfer was you have a scientist that came up with a nice invention, you register a patent, you put it on the shelf, and you wait for large companies or startup companies to come and ask for a license. But in these days, it doesn't work, and actually it's not enough. And this, before I go further to the presentation, I also want to address what Michael and John and actually Nissim mentioned here, is the VCs are interested in early stage projects, but what I would like to achieve in the next 5 minutes, and only 5 minutes, is to describe to them that tech transfer is not only what they thought about, and that the VCs has to do more directly with the universities. So what Yissum now does, we know that to take a project from the bench to the company or even a later stage to the market is not enough to have a patent on the shelf. So we do provide our scientists with, in the project, with a full range of support in terms of business advice from consultant and also funding resources. So how do we do this? What do we have in the Hebrew University? And you have to remember that relatively, in a worldwide perspective, it's a small university, but with very impressive achievements. We have about 120 success projects that we call them the new inventions. About 90 of them we find of commercial value each year. We give about 30 licenses directly each year to these technologies, but 60 of these projects need support and funding. For these projects that need support and funding, we have some creative ways that I'll show in the next slides. The 30 licenses that we give are sometimes they are direct licenses to Roche, Pfizer, and the large companies, especially in the biotech, but also sometimes to startup companies, or we create a spin-off companies that is intended to develop and take our research to the next stage. So what we have now, we have different kinds of supporting projects. And first of all of you know about the academic grants. We have an internal fund. It was mentioned before that the university should use some of their funds in order to support their own projects, so we do this, but unfortunately we don't have enough resources. We have extensive long-term research collaborations with large companies. For example, we have such a very fruitful collaboration with Roche. We have the government support, which is extremely important, which is NOFAR and Magneton program. And now there is a new project called a program called CAMIN that is also supposed to provide about $15 million a year to the universities in Israel. And we also have, obviously, our way of dealing with spin-off companies. And we call the VCs to invest directly in the spin-off companies in different areas. Now, what we want to do in the future, and actually when we are in relatively developed stages to achieve this, we are now seeking for additional funding to do the following. First of all, because we are generating nice royalties of products that we already have in the market, we can use this money to leverage and use it again for investment. And in this perspective, we propose to financial investor a very solid investment because we have a royalty stream going for the next, for many years. So it's like some kind of a relatively conservative, but with a very promising IRR. So this is one way of funding that we offer it to financial investors. The second one is that we are now in the process of incorporating an internal incubator. I don't know what the approach is in Canada, but we hope to achieve it in the next month. The third one is we do matching funds. We do matching funds with angel, with super angels, how you call it, or even if we seize, and we are actually even in discussions with Nissim, the team, to achieve this, that we will have some matching funds with VCs, early stage investments, or large companies, and we will invest in projects. And the last one is that we are now in very initial stages, but we are looking into this, is to take some of our successful spin-off companies, take them under one holdco, and to go public or to raise money from private investors. And actually we are dealing with doing it in the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, but it would be very interesting if we could do it here in Toronto. It might be a nice opportunity. Because we don't have too much time left, but I will just go very fast about on the new model that we are now offering for VCs, companies, and financial investors. First of all is the royalty-based funding mechanism. We have a royalty stream of about $50 million a year currently. We hope it will exceed in the next year. So we offer a certain payment of the royalties that we are generating in exchange for investment directly in our R&D. We believe that it's a relatively conservative investment with a very promising IRR. The concept of potential IPO, again, not necessarily on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, just a brief example. I took here 5 of our promising companies in the biotech area. We have a company called Avram, which is in phase 2B in Alzheimer's drug. We have Atox Bio in phase 1, and we have Tiltan in phase 2 in a cancer treatment. And we have 2 late early stage, I would call it, which are Algen and IDD, also in the cancer area. And you all said that cancer is one of the most important areas these days. So we have very promising technologies. What we hope to do is to take some of our holdings, put them under a holdco, and to raise money at the level of the holdco. The advantage of this will be the money that we will raise, we invest back in the companies, and we will support also these companies and potential new companies that we will put in. And actually, I think that Rafi was the first one in Israel that did something which is based on the same concept. So he has the rights for the invention. But I must say that our companies are already in late clinical stages, so it gives some more interest in this. About the incubator, so I assume that you all know what an incubator does, and as Nissim mentioned, we have 26 incubators in Israel with the support of the Israeli government. None of them, by the way, is currently in a university. We hope to change this and to have an incubator within the university or in collaboration with an existing incubator. The idea behind this is we have a very good and strong pipeline of projects. We will take this project, the most successful projects, into an incubator, and we will use the access to the infrastructure, the researchers, and the equipment that we have in the university, and the abilities of us in Yissum in business development to support these startup companies within the incubator. And we hope it will be a successful project. And just to summarize, so we have, I think, some modern approaches to how to raise money to early stage projects, and not only waiting on the shelf for the white knight to come and take the project. So we have the matching funds with investors or the industry. We have the incubator. We have spin-off companies. We have 45 in different areas. We have the royalty-based funding, and we have hopefully what we will do is an IPO in Israel or in any other place. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yaacov. Well, now, with this presentation, you really ruined my plan, because the purpose of this thing was that you and I will have a debate on how to go about tech transfer approaches. All of a sudden, Yissum adopts everything that we endorsed all along, and your predecessor always thought that I was insane. What happened to you with Yissum? Well, thank you anyway. So,
I gave you the credit
as part of the plan B, I want Nissim to give us the short version of Orbimed Israel, because I think that everybody here wants to get first-hand impressions. You're in the midst of it, right? And tell us what you think it will do in 5 years from now.
Okay. Maybe I should start and tell a little bit about Orbimed and why we think Israel is a great opportunity for us. So Orbimed, we believe, is the largest healthcare VC in the world. We manage $5 billion. We have $5 billion under management. And we do only one thing. We just invest in healthcare. And in healthcare, we're also focusing on 2 sectors, which is medical devices and biopharma biotech. We run 12 different funds. So we really can invest from one people from the Hebrew University on idea on computer to investing in the largest biopharma and medtech company like Medtronic, Novartis. So anywhere in the structural capital, we can invest, royalty, hedge fund, mutual fund. So this is what we have done. Orbimed has been invested in Israel for the last decade. So far, we deployed over $150 million into the Israeli market. And I must say, we are very excited about it because we had made money in Israel. We have made very nice money in Israeli company. We were the only institutional investor in Given Imaging. Given Imaging nowadays is the largest medical device in Israel. with a revenue of over $200 million. And market cap, it went on the Tel Aviv Stock Exchange, then in NASDAQ. I think it's over $700 million market cap. So we've done pretty well on the Israeli market. And I think this is why when we look at, we are a big fan, but still we believe there is a lot of opportunity in investing in Israel. So I think what happened, again, several factors come together. I think the government of Israel have put together the biofund tender, which will be, believe, a very, very attractive tender to the other LPs. Orbimed have done money in Israel. They know the Israeli arena. They know there is a good opportunities in Israel. Just to give you the numbers, there are about 1,000 Israeli life science company. About 60% of them are medical devices. 40% of them are biotech. And what really attracts us, we look at this market, and there is not enough money actually to support this market going forward. So I think all these factors came together to one point that Orbimed actually decided to start a Israeli dedicated fund called Orbimed Israel. So our mandate in terms of investing is actually we can go, as I say, from very, very early stage to later stage. When we talk about later stage, it's usually companies that are already in clinical trials when it comes to biopharma. And when it comes to medical devices, we would like to see proof of concept in large animals. However, we are thinking about, and this is an ongoing discussion, about incubating some programs internally and really grow them with us. So we are intending to build a $150 million fund, deploy the money. We have already a short list of companies that we believe we should invest in.
From here, when you extrapolate, in 10 years, Genentech Israel?
Maybe. If you look what's happening in the biotech arena, I was surprised. If you look at the Israeli biotech about 10 years ago, you probably would say there are 5 companies that are in clinical trials. When you look today, and this is actually an exercise that we took before we took the decision to go into Israel, there are over 100 companies that are in clinical trials. So,
okay.
You see the maturation of this market going very nicely. And I think maturation, we did money there. We've seen a lot of opportunities. And this is really actually what moved us to start this Orbimed Israel.
Okay. Well, I want Yigal to comment because he is the mastermind behind this whole scam. But beforehand, I have to tell you a little anecdote. About 10 years ago, when I felt that something has to be done, and we knew that relying only on the chief scientist is not good enough, Yigal, so we went to the Ministry of Finance, and I ended up talking to a young guy who just came out of the MBA program at Hebrew University, probably 24 years old, and I said, I came to talk to you about funding of the biotech sector. He looks at me and he says, for us, biotech out, nanotech in.